It's 2 p.m. Detroit, and you know what that means. Detroit media icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Naz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
Hey, let's go. Wednesday show, April 2nd, 2025. Ermanni and Edwards Naz, Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. If you watch it on YouTube, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. Tell a friend about Woodward Sports. Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Good afternoon, Ryan Amon-Ra.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
Feeling good?
I'm feeling good. I saw you on the show earlier. There's some pep in my step.
Yes.
I think we all should put a little more pep in our step. It's a great day, even though it's raining. We're that much closer to the opening day, and we are here, which means we woke up. But Ryan, I got a chance to see you on the news earlier.
Yeah.
Shot you a text of the source, but it's always a good day when I see you on the news doing a real job. And it wasn't the 9.
Right.
It's a little more fluffier.
It was like
it was serious news.
The legit anching news.
Yeah, great choice of jacket today, too.
You like
jacket.
that?
That was really nice. I saw it,
Thank you, Ricky Burns.
Yeah, it was.
My guy.
Question, how is it to transfer the energy? You do the 9 from 9 to 10, 45, 11, and then the energy is, it's different type of pieces, people pieces that are fun. Then at 11 o'clock, like you talk about some serious issues, death, other things. How do you switch?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
It is a great question because I don't know if you're able to fully appreciate when you're doing, Hooters, blah, 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 oh, this is great, all these silly stories, and kind of be a funny guy, and then to transition to reading the prompter and being serious guy,
yeah.
And then to come here and be like, Michigan State sucks.
Yeah. Dr. Jekyll,
It's
Mr.
like
Hyde.
this.
2 minutes in, we already got
like
one.
this roller coaster
Yeah.
of emotion that even I am on. I'm laughing, then I'm crying inside for people when you do the serious news, and then you try to be happy, and then you read this darn chat, and you're like, well, man, maybe I am the worst person in the world.
I've always admired the individuals that can read the prompter, but now just
100%.
read it with the energy that it's yours.
100%.
Like I got a chance to read a prompter at Broadcast Boot Camp, which is an NFL sanctioned event. They bring a bunch of former players or current players, and you learn about media. You learn about radio, you learn about color, you learn about interviews. But reading the prompter was the thing I was most scared to do. And when I got a chance to read it, I read it well. But the problem is you can't just read it. Like when Ryan reads the prompter at Fox, it's like, in news today, a young man local, like he's reading it from Ryan Ermanni's perspective, but he's reading the prompter. I read the prompter well, but I ain't had no personality.
That's why I went to radio. When I went to specs, the TV thing just wasn't. I didn't have the control with the camera.
The trick to reading the prompter is to read the prompter without letting people know that you are reading the prompter.
It's easy for you to
act
say
without
that.
acting.
Right. But again, normally, and
Don't
again,
you pre-read it?
well, sometimes I go block to block. So when you're on for 3 hours, 4 hours, 2 hours, what I mean? Like I go block. I see what I'm going to say one block at a time. That's how I do it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get overload.
Sure.
I mean, and a lot of times, like let's say you're on the air at 8 a.m. or whatever. What you're going to say at 11 o'clock hasn't been determined yet. So it's not like it's 7 a.m. before you get on the air. You can read what you're going to say at 11. That's not even been written yet.
Right.
So you can't even do all
Sure.
that. But yeah, and I know everybody's path is different, but the common path back in the day was that you went to a smaller market and you cut your teeth in Cadillac, Michigan, or
Flint. Flint is where I went.
Flint's
Flint's picking up.
That's a kick up. Like I'm talking about Pocatello, Idaho,
Waterloo,
Montana,
Petoskey, Michigan.
Well, that's Cadillac, Michigan. That's
Amarillo, Texas.
Exactly.
Amarillo.
So
Amarillo.
that's where you could, like, if I wouldn't even look at a newscast, sportscast that I would do back in 2001. That's why you do it, to get better. And then I went to Toledo. I was there for a year, and then I'm here in Detroit.
It's funny that you say you don't look back at the footage from then because you're so much. It's like it's night and day. You don't even want to see what it looks like. I hate watching film, like from my sophomore, freshman year in Michigan. No, when you watch, it's like, why was I so slow? Why was that route so stiff? Oh my God! Like you just look at things. Like my senior year versus my sophomore year is like, I can't watch that sophomore film. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Tom Mazaway, good afternoon to you, my friend.
What's up, brother? I grew up reading the high school scoreboard show.
The Gazette?
For WJR at 11:30 on Friday nights. That's how I started my career. I had to pronounce all these different cities that I had no idea how to pronounce, but I learned quickly. And, looking back, man, you don't want to read. You don't want to hear yourself back then. And
Oh, man.
But it's good, man. We're here. We're all here together, and we're talking sports. I'm watching the Rays and the Pirates here.
Oh, good for you, Jack.
Paul Skeens is going. And you know what? I love.
You just let the listening audience
that's fine.
that you're doing your own thing.
Yeah, well, I'm doing my own thing.
Right,
But what I wanted to say.
Can I just say,
Yeah.
that is a perfect example of Tom Mazaway.
Yes.
We were talking something that was not sports.
Right.
We were talking like
Right.
life or heaven forbid, news related. Tom Mazaway has
He's
never
gone.
seen me on a newscast.
gone.
Never, because he does not watch any news.
Nah.
Like if you ask Tom Mazaway, and this is what I
Is it
love
sports-
about.
is it sports news?
By the way, this is what I absolutely love about you.
Yeah.
Because you're not right, you're not left, you're not anything.
Just
you
him.
are just Tom.
Yeah.
And there are
is an
very
amazing-
few,
amazing
there are
guy.
very few people who are just Tom. You stay in your lane. You love sports. You watch sport. You don't care about today is Liberation Day. You don't even know what that means.
I have no idea. Zero idea. Honestly,
Right.
look, there's a day today.
Do you even vote?
So this is
I vote.
listen to me.
Okay, gotcha.
This is what I'm talking about. Tom Mazaway has never seen me
Liberation
on
Day.
the news.
That's great.
Only in sports because that's what he watches. That and Batman. And that's
Love
it.
TV. I
And
watch
that's what
Leave It to Beaver
That's
this
what I
morning.
love about you. So
Breaking Bad and Seinfeld.
right. Moral of the story: here we are talking about something other than sports, and Maz is doing his own thing because he's just
man.
not
He
interested.
tuned out.
It's what I love about
The
you.
reason I brought it up is I'm loving the Rays playing at Steinbrenner Field.
Yeah.
I love the look of it.
Yeah.
And then you did the A's in Sacramento, and they were a disaster. Nothing worked for the Athletics in Sacramento.
Does it
the
ever
other
work
night
for
for
the
the opening day.
Athletics?
Huh?
They're in a shed.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're in
They're
a
in a
shed.
shed.
Doing interviews.
Yeah, it's horrible. And they're going to be there for a while.
3 years.
They can't.
Did you guys see where the visiting bullpen is for the A's?
No.
It's out in center field. So if like a pitcher leaves the game or if there's like an injury, they have to run all the way out to like center field. It's like
Oh
a
my
400-foot
God. How
run.
does baseball even allow that?
I don't get it.
So
But this Steinbrenner Field, it's cool. I've been there. You see the traffic going by. It's a small park. It's beautiful. And the Rays are
People
playing the
walking their
Pirates.
dogs.
Paul Skeens is pitching. It's fun, man.
I appreciate asking that question the other day, and thank you for answering it that day and now. Rob Manfred, you get no credit for anything. Like the fact that your teammates, I asked Maz the other day, I said, does Rob Manfred get credit for the pitch clock and a couple of the things that they're doing now? No, he
Right.
doesn't get credit. And then he immediately goes to, where the Rays are playing at, where the Oakland A's are playing at. So you're right. I agree.
I stayed up for the Tigers
Tigers,
last night.
yeah.
I watched a little
about
bit of it.
12:40 at night, but I made it. On and off, dozed on and off. But Casey Mize looks outstanding.
Yeah.
Which
He
is
looks outstanding.
Let me tell you something. If the Tigers could get their 2 round 1 pick 1 players to go, and I'm talking about Casey Mize and Spencer Torkelson, this could be a very, very special season.
Yeah.
It could be.
We'll say something funny, and we'll get back to the Tigers. My boy Jeff, shout out to Jeff, what's going on?
Hey,
He
Jeff.
said he lived in Sacramento, right next door to that field that they
Yeah.
play at. He said Jimmy John's field
better.
right off of Infinite, 10 times better.
Yes.
That's
I
what
believe
the
it.
text says. 10
I
times
believe it.
better. I just had to
Isn't
say
that
real
something?
quick.
Unbelievable. Man.
But yeah, I mean the Tigers.
Tigers can win, man. They could beat the mid teams, like I told you.
And I said, too, if you remember on Monday, I said, look, I'm just not going to take a 3-game sweep of the Dodgers and think anything about it. And here the Dodgers now 7-0. They're going to win 120 games minimum if half the team stays healthy. And maybe even push for 130 wins. I really believe that. So I'm not going to take anything away from that series against the Dodgers other than the fact that they probably should have won the series and
Absolutely.
won 2 or 3.
Yes.
And
Yeah, at
feel
least two.
really good about an 0-3, not feel terrible about an 0-3. And here you're going for the sweep of the Mariners today, and you got Tarek Skubal pitching at home.
Right.
You know, it's his
Right.
it's his home
away from
town.
home.
They had a
Seattle
night for him
Mariners.
last night.
Yeah.
They had Tarek Skubal night in Seattle.
Oh, that's what's
where
up.
fans came to see him get interviews, get autographs. Get the whole Seattle celebrated Tarek Skubal.
Yeah. Cy Young Award winner.
Yep.
Yeah, no, 100%. Remember when they came out, when they played that Thursday, Friday, my conversation, Maz, I said, I'm in. I told you after the loss, I said I bought in. Now, I disagree that they should have won game one. Like,
Hell yeah.
they shouldn't have won game one, but this neither here nor there. They played well. Let's go back a little bit. When did the run start last year for these Tigers, Ryan Ermanni? Was it May?
The run?
Yeah.
The run. Would it be safe
to go
say
into the
May?
playoffs?
Yeah, May, they had a good May.
Okay, so they had a good May. This is how I look at the Tigers this year. That run in May was legit. It was legit in June. It was legit in August. And then you won in the postseason. You won the playoffs, got to the second round of the playoffs, and were up against the Indians. Fast forward. You start the season. You made the moves you made. You come in, got some guys hurt. With that being said, it's everything that we talked about. You're happy with the pitching. You're happy with the hitting so far. Extremely happy with Torque, individual that you didn't think was going to be on the team. Casey Myers was another one that had to play well. Well, Casey Myers played well. Chris Fetter, probably the best assistant coach in the league. He will get Skubal right. Skubal back on the mound tonight. They can have a much better round. A.J. Hinch is your GM. A.J. Hinch, is your manager, your skipper. He's got this team right. I think we need to stop looking at now and worry about what the Tigers have been. I think the Tigers have turned the corner because this goes back to May, and it's consistent. Here we are in April, so I like what the Tigers are doing.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting first month of the season, and we all said, and even when we had Lynn Henning on a couple of weeks ago, maybe it was last week or a couple of weeks ago, but he said, look, this team just has to get to the trade deadline and be right in the thick of things, and they will make a trade for a big bat. And we all believe this team needs a big bat in the middle of their lineup or something like that. And you know what? Maybe, and look, hope is not a strategy. I understand that, but maybe that big bat is Spencer Torkelson. I mean, maybe another RBI double last night. He's hitting the cover off the ball, which means he's seeing the ball as well as anybody can see the ball. And, oh, by the way, he was 1-1. I mean, he was round one, pick one.
Yeah.
He was that for a reason. Now, I know everybody that's ever gone first overall in the Major League Baseball draft has not panned out. But the bottom line is he was that damn good to be the first player taken in the draft. If he could have found something to get back to that kind of player and build his confidence. And you know what? If he goes, 0 for 8, 0 for 10 at some point, it doesn't send him south. Yeah. And I think that's an important spot for Torkelson. And look, this team is going to go with the pitching as well. And if you get Mize going like the way Mize has been going throughout spring training and into the season here throughout one start, this is going to be a tough team to beat in the division.
Torque saved 2 runs, too, on defense.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
Saved them.
Yes, he did.
Saved them.
Yeah, I think what you see in Torque and the Detroit Tigers and kind of their roster in general, I think you see the same thing with the Lions. They trust their roster. They trust the players that they drafted. They trust the players that they bought in through free agency. They trust Torque. He hit 30 home runs and was number 1 overall. At some point, you were hoping he got back to that. He didn't get back to that. But he was simple. When they asked him about the season, what are you doing? I'm not watching film. I'm not paying attention to bad baseball. I'm not paying attention to, when I wasn't right or when my stance or my hips, they weren't right. And we were like, what, he's not watching film? Torque's not watching film? Torque doesn't care. Torque trusts himself. Yep. He trusted his coaches, and now he's operating at a level, like you said. He could be the one to hit you 35 home runs. He could be the big power hitter, much like the Lions are trusting Davenport, trusting the guys they bought in.
Burn $5 in the Super Chat. The Tigers look more mature. They know what it takes now, and they know they can overcome adversity. I don't believe this team will ever give up, and I think that's one of the things that we saw in the Dodgers series for sure.
Hell yeah.
And they have not let that series beat them. You go 0 for 3 in a series, maybe that's something where you're like,
look how they lost the first game on an overturned terrible call at home plate.
That's the second game.
Was that game 2?
Yeah, that was game 2.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
And man, let me ask you this question because I know you're completely dialed in. You too, Ryan. The Dodgers as well as the Mariners, their pitching staffs are pretty good.
Yeah, the bullpen is second to none.
100%. So this isn't some luck or it was the Mariners, it was the Dodgers. No, it was the Mariners and the Dodgers.
Dodgers are 6-0 by the way. First time since 81. 7-0 they won again. And Alex Bregman's struggling with Boston at third base.
Yeah.
And Devers, I don't think he has a hit yet.
I think he's 0 for 20
Yeah.
or something like that.
With like 15 strikeouts. It's
unbelievable.
They switched him though.
Yeah,
correct.
Devers
Yes,
is a DH.
DH.
He wants to play third.
Why would you do it to a person that's played at Rafael Devers' level for
know.
so long?
I'm
That's
happy.
the only confusion.
Let him screw him up.
Right.
Not our problem. Right?
Nope.
Not my problem.
Maybe Devers will be available in a trade.
Oh,
Well,
that's definite.
One of the things, too, that you hope this guy didn't get screwed up, and that's Colt Keith. You know, I mean, Colt Keith
He's
is
back to second.
Yeah, I know. And that's, look, I'm not making any judgments on anything this early in the season, but, you know, they had the experiment to put Colt Keith at first base. He's working so hard on first base. Then not even a series into the freaking
one game.
One game into the season. Now he's back to second, and he's 3 for 16 to start the year, and he's batting 188. You know, like.
Well, Glaber went down.
Exactly, but I'm just saying that kind of roller coaster toll for a player. These players are creatures of habit too. I mean, they want to know exactly when they're playing, where they're playing, and you're playing first, then you're playing second, then you're going to be the DH. Now maybe you're going back to first. I mean, that's a lot for a player. Maybe not sounds like a lot to you and me, but this ain't Little League.
No.
You know what I mean?
Right.
This ain't Little League. This ain't high school where the guys play 3 or 4 positions. I mean, some guys have a spot. They like to play in that spot. And, so we'll see where what happens with Colt Keith there. But Grand Slam party as well coming up opening day that I know everybody's excited about too, Braylon.
No, 100% can't wait to go to the Grand Slam party. Well, see the Grand Slam party because we'll be here in studio, I believe, for a watch party.
Sir.
But just talking about that, you're absolutely correct in terms of wanting to be where you are. I remember Brian Schottenheimer. He came to me literally on a Wednesday. Hey, look, San Antonio's not playing. We need you to play X. I played Z the whole time in Cleveland and the whole time in New York. I knew the Z, but I didn't feel like playing because you would think, it's just the other side of the ball. There's a lot more to come with it. So to your point, you definitely want to get locked in. But the other side is they're young. Like this is a young roster. This is a young ball club. I think when you have younger players, it's a little bit more easy to do things. Guys are a little bit more chill. Like, all right, cool. I'll second this week. I'll figure it out. When you get older, Rafael Devers, when you get year 10, year 12, it's super tough. So the young side of things, I think, helps that predicament.
I want to go heavy NFL today as well, but before we get to the NFL, the Red Wings absolutely blew one last night. And with it, I think they blew any chance to make it to the postseason. Now 5 points back of a wild card spot. Just an extremely devastating. Or 4 points back.
Yeah.
4 points back. Devastating last night. Giving up a goal with 29 seconds to go to St. Louis to get to overtime.
They've won 10 in a row.
On
the other side of the coin.
No doubt. Yeah. But again, when you shut a team out for 59 minutes and 30 seconds, and you are desperate for 2 points, and to come away with 1 point
An
there,
overtime loss on a giveaway by Sider,
and lose ground in the standings, that's just the kiss of death. I just don't see any scenario in how they overcome a 4-point deficit.
That's a 2-point swing.
No
Losing
doubt.
to 1 point and not gaining that point.
Yeah, no doubt.
Swing.
So I think the Red Wings are dead. 8 games to go, 4 points back, 4 teams in the mix. It's just 5 teams, really, if you want to say it. But I think they're dead, and it's really sad. Here we go, another season of no playoffs for the Red Wings.
Yeah, I got to tread lightly because, around here they get mad if you talk about a certain individual. I've been getting texts mad talking about the Red Wings, so let me tread lightly.
Who you been talking about? I can't remember.
The team in general.
Okay.
The team in general. But, it just sucks because you believe there was a lot of momentum that we were building off of last season. It didn't make it in, but it was a fun time, and you thought that, the front office management would get it right this season. It feels like they took a step back this year. Last year they put themselves in this situation because Dylan Larkin gets injured. They try to fight towards down the end. The Islanders are hot. They figure it out. This year, Ryan, they're not playing those teams that are trying to get that last spot. They're playing teams that are good. They're playing teams that are already in the playoffs. You cannot put yourself in this situation. So I just don't know what has to happen moving forward. But I hope that the guy in charge gets it right because I love Stevie Eisman. I love Isaac. I always have my captain. But I love the Red Wings a little bit more. And I would like to see us winning. And unfortunately, the Tigers are now winning. The Pistons are now winning. And the Lions are damn sure winning. So it's putting even more pressure on the Red Wings. It's putting even more pressure on Steve Yzerman. So I don't know what has to happen. I'm still a novice when it relates to the sport of hockey, but something, because this is 6 years. Next year will be year 7. If his name wasn't Steve Yzerman, would he still have a job?
You know, in 7 years in Tampa Bay, it took 7 years to win the Stanley Cup in Tampa Bay. They haven't even made the playoffs.
Right.
At best, it will be year 7 before they became a playoff team. And then we all know at that point, then it becomes, okay, now you're in the playoffs. Then maybe you get to the conference finals, and then maybe you can go for a Stanley Cup. But look, this team, for as good as Lucas Raymond and Dylan Larkin are, they aren't that 1A type player. They're just not. This team doesn't have that player because this team is not picked in the top 5, in the top 3, in the top 1. They don't have that guy.
How does hockey work? I keep hearing that hockey is not the same as helping like a Pistons team or a Lions team in the NFL, getting good quick. It takes longer. Well, what's the difference? Because I keep hearing that excuse.
I don't know. Ask Edmonton when they got Connor McDavid. I mean,
you know what I mean? Win a lottery.
Right. Like, you got to win a lottery.
Yeah.
With the salary cap now, it just does feel like you have to have, that lottery pick, that Connor McDavid type player.
Bring back the manager.
Kenny Holland, I don't know what's he doing in Columbus. He is with Columbus now, isn't he?
I don't think so.
Is not vacuums?
I think he's chilling.
Yeah.
I think the manager's chilling.
Is he selling vacuums?
I could be wrong. He was selling vacuums at one point.
How good was Ken Holland versus the players that played for the Red Wings?
Well, of course, there was no salary cap.
It was they were the Dodgers.
You had the Russian
they were the
Five.
Yankees.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
but they were the Dodgers when Ken Holland was the manager here.
I'm asking.
And then when he went to Edmonton look, I'm not taking anything away but any coach. Andy Reid is an all-time great coach because he's got Patrick Mahomes. And before that, he had Donovan McNabb.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Bill Belichick is Bill Belichick because he had Tom Brady.
Yes.
But to your point, they didn't call Andy Reid a great coach until he got with Mahomes.
That's
You're
right.
correct.
So, so say what you want about Ken Holland, but he was able to do what he was able to do with no salary cap here in Detroit. And then, by the way, when he got to Edmonton, there was this player called Connor McDavid on the team already.
And Leon Draisaitl.
Leon Draisaitl. So, at that point, you just got to fill in the blanks.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's still hard to get there, though.
It has not been the case with the Red Wings. They just don't have that player.
The free agency that he has done, that's where he's going to get marked down the most. We don't know about all these stars he's drafted because they're still down in Grand Rapids and below. But the free agents have not worked out. And he's, signing older players, a Patrick Kane. He's doing whatever he can. There's other guys. Tarasenko, he's a big playoff guy. Guess what? We got to get to the playoffs for him to be good, I guess, because he hasn't been good. And anyone that they signed, it just hasn't worked out. So that's the downside of Yzerman. And we understand, supposedly, they got outbid for a few players last year at the trade deadline and again this year at the trade deadline. Is that with the owner? Mike Ilitch, back in the day, he told Kenny Holland, go ahead, do what you want. Chris Ilitch, it's a little different. It just is. The Ilitch family now runs the teams differently than what Mike did.
I will say this, though, and just kind of knowing a little bit about the family, I don't know if this is a thing. This is purely speculation from the outside, man. Knowing the family, being around the family, there's a lot of members. Like, I wonder how many moving parts are involved with making decisions and situations and things. And does that affect
I would say, I don't know, I would say one.
Okay, so it's just Chris and Stevie Y.
Yes.
Chris to Stevie Y.
Yes. And again, if you're Chris Ilitch, you're not a hockey guy. I would guess for as much criticism as Chris Ilitch gets in this city, I would guess that if Steve Yzerman had a player that he said, Chris, we have got to get this player, I would almost, not really, but I would almost stake my life on the fact that Chris Ilitch wouldn't be like, no, sorry, Steve, too expensive. I just don't think that scenario has ever existed. I just don't think it has. Yeah. Otherwise, why hire Steve Yzerman?
Right.
You know what I mean?
So in that case,
do it yourself.
Like I just think these players don't fall off trees. the ones that matter anyway. And again, no disrespect to Dylan Larkin or Lucas Raymond. You saw what Dylan Larkin is able to do when he is playing amongst other elite players.
Yes.
He looks like
elite.
One of the top players in all of hockey.
Yeah.
But can he be that 1A on a Stanley Cup championship team? Because heaven forbid, and I hate to talk bad about these players. I'm not talking bad about them. I'm just simply saying what the truth is. If you're a 1A player, you're at least a playoff team.
Facts.
You're at least one of 8 playoff teams if you are that player.
There's no superstar sitting out of the playoffs, is what you're saying.
Now, one superstar in the NHL is sitting out of the playoffs.
Right.
Current superstar. I'm not talking about, the what's the dude in Chicago that just got drafted last year? But
Bedard.
Connor Bedard. I'm not talking about that. If you are a current superstar in hockey today, you are not sitting home in the playoffs. You're just not.
Right.
And if you are, there was a devastating injury to your team this year. I just don't think it exists. So we'll see. We'll see if you can get one of those players.
But the problem is
Larkin's
not a defensive player, and the defense is what's letting them down right now. So they're just short players.
Well, they don't score a ton of goals either.
They're short players,
Yeah.
and their goaltending is mid.
But again, on a night where you give up 1 goal in regulation, you got to win that game. You got to win that game.
On the other hand, watch out for St. Louis. 10 in a row.
Yeah.
Those are the teams. How many years ago did St. Louis win, Bray? Going from last to first.
2021.
Yep. Watch out for a team like that.
I agree.
Look out.
Yeah, it's man.
The Blue Notes are coming back.
That's right. Guys, we'll take a break. When we come back, Dan Miller, Fox 2, sat down one-on-one with Lions president Rod Wood yesterday. We will play that interview for you. He talked about tickets, talked about the coaching searches, talked about free agency, talked about the practice facility, the training facility in Allen Park. They talked about just about everything. You will hear that coming up next. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC, QR code right above my head. Scan that for their whole inventory. But let me tell you about a 2024 Envision, only $299 per month. What about a 2025 Sierra Crew Cab Elevation? $229 per month. Hey, how about the 2025 EV SUV, $799 per month? Get to Les Stanford today. Check out their massive inventory. Les Stanford, Buick, GMC, LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com.
Together, let's drive.
Listen, I'm not sure who, but somebody let the Tigers get hot.
The Detroit Tigers are locked and loaded for another great summer in Detroit. And it all starts downtown at the biggest home opener party in the city. Join Woodward Sports at Grand Slam Festival as we take over the Detroit Opera House parking lot. A big-ass tent for a big-ass Detroit party. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFestival.com or follow Woodward Sports on X and IG for your chance to get in for free. Party across from Comerica Park and hear the roar as the Tigers take the field for the first time in 2025. DJs, food trucks, bartenders, live broadcasts, and more. See you for the Tigers' first home game of the season, April 4th at the Grand Slam Festival with Detroit's biggest party animals, Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at LesStanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media. And we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Oh, yeah, everybody. We are the numero uno sports digital platform in all the entire globe. We have 6 ways you can catch all of our programming right there to my right, and that would be to your left on your screen. You can watch us on YouTube, Instagram, X, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Like, share, subscribe, join, come be a part of our family. We have lots of great content for you all the time here at Woodward Sports.
Hey, let me tell you about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Awesome is when a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut at Lady Jane's. We take the chore out of getting a haircut. Our talented stylist will deliver an industry-leading haircut, relaxing scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Commercials on television lately?
Yeah, sure, please.
Well, when the March Madness starts, you get all the Charles Barkley commercials.
Yeah.
If I have to hear,
Samuel Jackson,
if I have to hear the bank is open one more time,
the bank is open.
I will. I mute it. I mean, the second it comes on, I mute. I can't stomach it. I can't. I hate these freaking commercials.
Dante, 151,
despise them.
$5 in the super chat. The Red Wings have the 3rd worst penalty kill in NHL history. They've killed just about 68.5% of power plays. That's not good. What was it Dan Patrick back in the day of SportsCenter where he'd be like,
"You're no good."
Chris
Myers.
Oh, that was Chris Myers.
Chris Myers.
You're not good. And now you get
you
get fired for talking.
I know.
Oh, you talked bad about me.
The old ESPN. Oh, my
my
God.
God.
There are no more Chris Myers or Dan Patricks on SportsCenter anymore. Those days are over.
Yeah.
Who did Floyd Mayweather get into it with?
I don't know.
I forget.
Craig
Brian Kenny.
Oh, I couldn't stand Brian Kenny.
He's on MLB Network now.
Yeah, he's got a hard opinion on boxing and baseball.
Oh, that's right.
He sticks with it.
Hard
He's an
opinion.
instigator.
I like
Floyd didn't
BK.
that opinion. For sure. I just said, but that was like prime time. And
Right.
ESPN.
Yeah.
Instigator.
He is.
Guys, I want to talk a little bit of Lions. There's a lot to talk about with
Lions.
the Detroit Lions. And again, I'm going to give it to the chat. You guys want to hear the whole thing? Dan Miller and Rod Wood. It's 5 minutes long. Do you want us to break it up, or do you want us to play the whole thing for you? Let us know. Get in the chat, YouTube chat, and we'll do that. It's about 5 minutes long, so I'll do whatever you guys say.
Good job by Dan Miller, as always.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And look, it was a wide-ranging conversation, and it is very rare that these guys speak to the media. Guys like Rod Wood or even Sheila. And I haven't not heard Sheila yet, but nonetheless, Rod Wood rarely talks to the media. Maybe, let's say, 5 times a year where he has an
He
interview
talks
like
when he
this?
wants to protect the brand, especially the ticket prices.
Right.
And he goes into a whole spiel. You'll hear him, and I hear Charlie Brown's teacher myself, but that's just me. That's just me.
All right, Mike Reed, play it all.
Whole
Pop
thing.
bottles, whole thing. Burn, play it all. We're addicts. Okay, you can take it down. We're good there.
All right,
Let's play the
that's
whole
good. I
thing.
wanted
There's
to put it
enough
up
of
there.
them.
There you go.
I
It's
saw
already done.
one that said break it up, but everybody else is play the whole damn thing, Ermanni. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. This is courtesy of Fox 2 in Detroit. Dan Miller and Rod Wood, the president of the Detroit Lions, courtesy of Fox 2.
Meetings are a lot more fun when you're winning and the organization is in a great place.
Yeah, everything's more fun. Everybody is very appreciative of what we're doing, not only for Detroit, but the league. We're a big TV draw. We're helping the league as a whole, and hosting the draft last year, and coming off of that. So it's fun to be, one of the teams that are kind of in and people are excited about, but it also creates a whole different set of challenges. You got expectations to live up to and everything else.
But it's a great story, and you talk amongst your peers in the NFL, and I imagine there are probably people that pick your brain about how'd you do this? How did you turn this thing around?
A lot of people, especially during the coaching hire season, trying to find their Dan Campbell.
Sure.
And, how do you have your structure where Dan and Brad are, co-equals and they have to work together, and everybody talks about collaboration and wanting to do things where there's no ego and people are all doing, what they do for the betterment of the team and not for themselves. It's a lot easier to say that than to do it. And, I caution people, you can't find your own Dan Campbell. He's one of a kind. Find the right person for you and focus on what's going to make your culture what you want it to be. And it's hard. I mean, we went through, a couple of attempts that didn't work out as well. But I do think, I've said this before, and people were still trying to find the next Sean McVay. And, just because somebody's successful doesn't mean that's the path to success, the only way you can pursue it. And I think right now Dan is kind of the in flavor. But it's really hard to find somebody like him.
But even before Dan, you and Sheila, Mike Disner, Chris Spielman, you decided what you wanted to be and what a Lion looked like and what the organization was going to be. And that's really the foundation of this. Take me back there.
You go back to, we had, the several months after we made the decision to move on from Bob and Matt, and we focused on what do we want to be and who are we going to try to be and who are we going to try and bring in to execute that plan. And that was one of the other things I told the team. If you don't know what you're looking for, good luck finding it. And, we laid out very specific examples of what we were looking for in a head coach and what we were looking for in a general manager. And we just recently pulled it up again just to kind of go back and double check it. And I had put together a list of must-haves and then nice-to-haves. And I think Brian, who's standing over here, pointed, he saw it for the first time, and you read the must-haves, he goes, well, that's Dan Campbell.
Sure.
And so if you hadn't really set that out, you probably wouldn't have found Dan Campbell. You might have found somebody else who's a really good coach, but you weren't going to find what was right for the Detroit Lions. So that's one of the things I've told teams. You spend a lot of time preparing for the search as opposed to just doing the search.
One of the byproducts of your success is the money that you are paying players. Look, there was a long time where there weren't a lot of second contracts with the Lions. Now you have a ton of them, and you have more coming. How difficult is this road going to be to keep all these players, and how much do you cringe every time somebody signs a contract and resets the market at a position?
Yeah, we certainly pay attention to it and try to factor it into our thinking. And, really, and Mike Disner and I talk about this, we've never really thought of the salary cap 3 years in the future. That's how we're thinking now, because we've kind of mapped out. We've got this group of players coming up this year. You've got Hutch, you've got, J-Mo, you've got Kirby, and then you've got Branch, and then you've got, Gibbs, and you've got Laporta, and you've got to plan for all of that. Because we've built a foundation of really, really good players through the draft. Everybody says they want to draft well, they want to develop good players, and they want to re-sign them. Very few players, and teams get to do that. And so far we're working on that, and we're going to do the best we can to keep the core together and only augment through free agency, not try to build the team through free agency, which I know doesn't win us a lot of headlines this time of the year. But why aren't you signing, and why aren't you getting another defensive end? Well, how many, going to have $80 million in defensive ends? We're going to have one that's going to cost us a lot of money. You can't have all your money in one position. We're fortunate that we have one, because a lot of teams are looking for one. So I think building the team through the draft, re-signing, and then, hopefully continuing to draft well. So we have another wave of, guys that are on rookie contracts behind the guys that we're going to have to pay.
I know the Ford naming deal sponsorship has been renewed. Beyond that, Ford Field, approaching year 24 at Ford Field. One of the challenges has always been keeping it relevant, keeping it up to date. It has become a massive home field advantage. Just where do you feel like you are in the life cycle of Ford Field?
I think, it's still, current. We did the big renovation a few years ago. I think one of the things that we're focused on right now is we have the Final Four coming in 27. There's the planned big project around our stadium with 375 and 75. So staying on top of those things to make sure that during the project we can get people in and out of the building, we can execute a Final Four. And I think beyond that, then we'll start thinking about maybe the next wave of enhancements or renovations to the stadium. But we don't want to do anything now that won't be ready for the 27 Final Four, and it has some lead time. So we're thinking of kind of the next generation of Ford Field, but that's probably 4 or 5 years in the future.
But you got to be thrilled with what it's become right now.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
And the kind of advantage it provides.
It's unbelievable. Our fans have been tremendous at home, following us on the road. We've had a home field advantage on the road, it feels like a few games. But in that stadium, I don't know that there's anything as electric as Ford Field when we're playing at home. And hopefully, we'll have another couple playoff games this year and have the same environment that we did last season, and take advantage of the home field advantage.
All right, and that was courtesy of Fox 2 in Detroit. Dan Miller with Lions president Rod Wood. Couple of more notes from Rod Wood. This was a quote that I'm taking from the Free Press. This is from Dave Burkett. Lions season ticket renewals at 98%. The Lions raised their season ticket prices an average of 24% this season, on top of a 30% increase in 2024. Wood said the renewals remain high. 98% of the people renewed, more than 20,000 people on a season ticket waiting list. Quote, unlike prior years, I never got a single complaint this year about anybody's ticket price going up, Wood said. We did get some complaints from people who we identified as really being brokers. They were buying season tickets and then selling every game and making thousands of dollars. And so under the contract, we have the right to take those tickets back. And so the biggest complaints I got were the people who had their tickets taken away from them because they now can't resell them and make money. Wood acknowledged that the Lions used the secondary ticket market to determine how to price their tickets for the season. Last year, he said the average resale for Lions tickets was an NFL high $404. The average cost of Lions season tickets was less than $200. Quote, we look at what we think is reasonable given the market demand for the tickets, and we track every game and how many tickets were sold on the secondary market, what the price is. We're not going to jump to $400, but we're going to try and increase it to recognize what the market would carry.
How much do you pay for your tickets?
You're in the lower bowl. I paid. What did I pay this year? I went from paying $5,700 to $7,600. $7,600 I paid this year. $7,700.
So per game, do you remember how much the ticket was?
Yeah, I'll tell you right now.
Yeah. Because I don't believe that average price of a ticket is in the hundreds.
7,700 divided by
Are there fees on that too?
8 divided by 4, paid $240 a game.
Okay, $240 a game.
Now last year I paid
200, 180
divided by 4, 158.
Wow.
So my tickets went from $158,
$90
a piece, to $240 a piece. So that's
not bad.
Not bad.
It's $90 a game per ticket extra.
Yeah, it's more than
now.
More than half.
What did he say the average price was?
The average price went up 24%.
No, but he said there was an average price of a Lion ticket.
But that was the resale price, like $400.
Oh, the average resale price was $400.
Yeah.
The average price at Ford Field is less than $200.
So $199.
Something probably.
Right,
like
in
that.
the upper deck,
Probably
back
in the
corner.
uppers, yeah.
It's a lot of money, and the 20,000. And we're gonna have Joel Schwartz on later, ticket broker to the Stars. There's a lot of going on with the tickets. Let's face it, Ticketmaster they are the biggest thieves in all the industries that I could think of. They're the biggest thieves.
And they're annoying.
Yep, and I'm not sure what President Trump's doing, if he's coming against them. I don't know.
Yes.
He's coming against them, those kind of people.
That's what the idea is.
Yes.
That's what the idea is.
Yeah. But what the Lions have done, and you heard him, he said in the Free Press article that Dave wrote, that they look at what the resale value of a ticket is, and that's what they pumped up their tickets. So they basically scalped their own tickets. And I know you got to strike while the iron's hot, but we went over it last year. Our playoff ticket, without a question, was the highest playoff ticket other than a Super Bowl game. I think the Washington game was the highest ticket price other than a Super Bowl game in the history of the game. Now, you have that, and now this year, they up it again. And now they take tickets away from you. So if I'm just Joe Schmo and I have 4 seats, if I want to sell 2 of my seats and they take them away from me, I don't think it's right. I just don't. I don't think that's right. They're my tickets. I bought them. I paid you that exorbitant amount of money you wanted.
Yeah.
I can do whatever the hell I want with my tickets.
As long as that fan in your seat
is behaving.
Yes.
Right. Yes. And look what happened in that Washington game. I'd say 60%, 70% of those people were first-timers for that game because everyone bailed out and made their money back for that game. Oh, we're going to wait. I said it myself. I'm not going to buy this game. I'm going to wait till the championship game. I already had that game won. And the crowd was not the same. And I know anyone that's in the chat, I doubt you're going to be saying I'm wrong on this one. That game was a lot quieter than all the other games because the first-time buyers are going to games. Guys are taking their girlfriends now. They're taking their kids.
Yeah.
It's a different vig now, man. It's just, you know what? It's just not right. I just think it's too much. All the other playoff teams were way, way less than our tickets.
Yeah, but if we expect this, oh man, the rain really picked up out there. But if we believe that this is going to last like they say it did, you hear Rod Wood talk about what they're going to do. They want to build through the draft for the rest of the future. They want to have enough money to pay the guys that they're going to draft. So I understand that. If you expect that to happen, Maz, I think in a couple years or a year or two, the prices go down. Yeah, I think when they win that Super Bowl or when they get to the Super Bowl, hopefully this year, I think that's when the tickets go down and then they become regular teams like KC. KC's tickets aren't that much, even though they have Patrick Mahomes, because they've been winning for a very long time. They were winning when Alex Smith was there.
No, I get it.
So I think, once you start winning consistently and once you see it and the buzz kind of wears down, then the tickets come down. But it took so long to get to this moment. As a person from Detroit, I'm just like, you know what? Do what you guys need to do because it did take this long. And part of your team winning 15 games, yeah, you got bumped up a little bit on the prices.
And I totally agree with you about that. I think you're going to start to see that price go steadily down because now there's no I think the shine has worn off. I do think that shine that
the Commanders lost.
And everything. Now, could they ramp it back up? Yes, obviously. But I think that collective what's the word I'm looking for, guys?
Energy?
Yeah, I mean,
we lost our faith. We lost our faith.
This undying faith that they are going to win a Super Bowl, I think has been that Band-Aid has been ripped off a little bit.
Don't tell the people in the chat that because they disagree.
Yeah. We've been punched in the face.
Yeah.
We have. We've been punched again. Charlie Brown and Lucy. She pulled the ball away again.
Yeah.
They did.
I agree. If the Lions get to the NFC Championship and the Super Bowl and lose, it's still the same energy. It's still the same energy that was last year. Losing in the second round and not winning a playoff game, I think that's where the shine came off a little bit. Regardless of 23 players or 24 players, I think just losing in a game that you expected to win, that's where the shine came off. Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. Couple more Lions-related things. Rod Wood did say that he would not be shocked to see the Lions play on Christmas Day. He does not want there to be a home game, and I think they will be spared a home game because he doesn't want Lions fans to have to commit Thanksgiving and Christmas to a home game. But don't be shocked. In Kansas City wants Christmas Day to be their day. Kansas City wants to play, according to Yahoo Sports, Kansas City wants to play on Christmas Day every year. The Lions play at Kansas City this year. Don't be shocked if you have Lions at Chiefs on Christmas Day this year.
Oh,
Makes
wow.
sense. Wild. That'll be wild.
It's gonna be energy. Is it on Netflix again?
First two games on Netflix. The third game will be on Amazon. Did you guys know it was a triple header on Christmas?
Of course.
A triple header.
Here you go, Tommy.
There it is.
Right.
First two games on Netflix. The nightcap will be on Amazon. I don't think you could sell Christmas as a one-team game because you're not going to have games if it's a Tuesday.
Right.
Am I right?
Right.
You're not. A Wednesday was a reach last year.
Yeah.
That was a big reach. But you know what?
They're
owning it now. The NBA is they got to be licking their wounds, man.
Really?
There's no doubt. NFL, I mean, has just put their foot on the NBA's throat.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, because it used to be all LeBron James promos.
Now they had 3 games.
Yeah.
3.
That's crazy.
No, I was gonna say, but there kind of lies the Christmas holiday. A lot of people aren't working. It's a different energy around that time of day. I think they would even venture to try Tuesday, man.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And now that they started on Wednesday, it makes sense because
Yeah.
they have 6 years to get it right for Tuesdays. The game will be on Tuesday for sure.
And did you hear about the NFL is going to do, guys? They're going to get out of their
5 years.
television deal 3 years early. Ryan and Braylon, 3 years early, because they know they can make that much more money. And there are other networks throwing their hat in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So they did what baseball did. Baseball told ESPN, go pound salt. I want to go make some more money. ESPN, NFL's doing the same thing. They're getting out of that television deal, that multi-billion-dollar deal, getting out early.
Don't blame them.
So here's from Burkett as well, just in conversations with Dan Campbell. Here's the quote from Dan Campbell. This is from Dave Burkett. We had 15 wins in a season. We played bad at the wrong time, and so careful tweaking things. What you got is good enough. Simple question. Are the Lions good enough right now to win a Super Bowl? Because they believe they are. They believe they are good enough to win the Super Bowl. Are they?
No.
Oh, Pete started off. He wasn't waiting.
Right.
That's easy.
That's the question.
I've been saying it this week as well. I had to go back on my word and say, look, this is a team that won 15 games, and they did it without most of their starters. So, yeah, I do think they are still a top 5 NFL team. So a top 5 NFL team should have availability to get to the Super Bowl. I do believe it. Their schedule is tough, but that's okay. You don't got to win 15 games. Win 11.
Clearly.
Win 12. Because the other teams certainly aren't going to win 15. So, yeah, they are good enough if everyone stays healthy.
Braylon, are they good enough?
No. I got to see it. The answer is no. They lost last year to the Commanders. I don't care what the excuse was. You lost. You had an opportunity. You lost. You were up in that game, and you lost. So, no, they don't have an opportunity. The defensive line is something that we've been trying to get them to fix for the last 4 years or add more pieces to it, and they have. But they're injured players. I don't know what DJ Reader is going to look like next year because he was injured this past year a little bit, and he was injured the year before that. I don't know what Davenport's going to look like because he was injured last year and the year before. So if you're telling me they're healthy, I still don't know if they're going to win. And I say no. You have to show me that you can win it. They have it. Go ahead.
What does healthy mean, by the way? Because if you're going to tell me
5 players hurt, not 20.
Yeah, okay, exactly.
But it better not be the 5 wrong players.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to tell me that Marcus Davenport plays 14, 15 games for this team, yeah, good. If you're going to tell me that Frank Ragnow, Penei Sewell, and Taylor Decker play 15 games this year, yeah, great. If you're going to tell me that, Anzalone and Campbell and Barnes, and sure, I get it. What about Amon-Ra and J-Mo?
Yeah. What about Gibbs?
What about
Montgomery?
Gibbs? But yeah, I mean, what does healthy mean? And I know you can't. I know you can't plan for injuries, but you gotta plan for injuries.
Look,
you gotta have some. So I don't know what healthy means. Define health.
I don't even want to make it a healthy conversation. Let's take health off the board, at least from me. Last year, your offensive line struggled towards the end, but nobody talks about that.
They did.
Nobody talks about it. Taylor Decker struggled at the end, whether it's age, injuries,
Glasgow.
whatever. Glasgow was going to retire.
Yeah. They ran through it like a revolving door.
Or not Glasgow, Frank Ragnow was going to retire. Glasgow, this side, that side, this side, that side. He struggled at the end of the last season. Zeitler was your best offensive lineman last year. I know we love Penei. I love Penei. Grade-wise, it was Kevin Zeitler. Guess what? He's not here anymore. He's gone. So there are some real concerns on both sides of the line. The defensive line. We just had this conversation. We're hoping these players play. And if these players play, am I supposed to be like, okay, yeah, they're going to get it right because they trust them? So the answer is, at this current time, the answer is no. I don't know what the offensive line or the defensive line is going to look like, even if they are healthy. I don't know what that looks like. So the answer is no. That means they would have to be Philly. They're not beating Philly right now. Right. And in the AFC, that means they would have to be Buffalo or Kansas City or whoever your third team is. They're not ready right now for those 4 teams.
Right.
Don't forget, the draft's coming. They're going to add
You
to the
said
team.
today. You said today.
Well, but they're adding to the team. They're going into the season.
Is the question about today or is the question about August?
Either way, I mean, there's no player in this draft that I think is going to put them over the top.
Well, we don't know that.
I don't know that, but I would assume that if they pick at 28, there's no player that's going to make them Like,
There've been plenty of players picked that low that have made their team.
I'm not saying made their team. I'm saying the
I'm
Lions
talking
are,
about made their team.
I'm saying the Lions are one player away. Is that one player in this draft? I don't know.
Right.
Maybe that's the basis of a difference of opinion.
Right.
Like, because I do think they're one player away, and maybe some people think they are 0 players away. I mean, that's just, I guess, where our opinions may differ.
Well, no, I actually agree with you, and the reason is last year.
I'm just saying other people, not you. Yeah.
Well, I agree with you because last year the Lions were very good. Excuse me, the year before that they were good. So they picked what last year, Maz?
They picked 28th again, right?
And then they moved up to 22nd. But they picked 28th last year. And guess what? The player that they drafted in the first round last year, he's going to be a good player. He didn't necessarily make the difference last year. So if you have another draft like last year's draft, are you going to get that one player? So I see what you're saying.
And, when you talk about health, one of the Lions' best defensive players, maybe even the second best defensive player they have, is Aleem McNeil. He is out to start the season. He will not play, most likely not play in the month of September.
Right.
So then you're in October now, and
November 1st is when you'll see him.
Right. So, and if that's when you see him, how long does it take for him to get going? How long? There's all these questions. And then what if DJ Reader goes down for a couple of games? Okay, now you've got your 2 starting defensive tackles out. So there are a lot of question marks with this team, and these are good problems to have. I remember when there was a time when, we talked about not having one good player on the team. Now you got a bunch, but I can't go 60 years and not make the Super Bowl. I only use 60 because this is Super Bowl 60. And they haven't been there yet. That's true. Coming up. So that's all. Just trying to make the team a little bit better. I do understand where they're coming from, though. But, I guess my mindset is a little different as well because I don't want to be good for a decade. Yeah. I'll take being great for 1 year. You know what I mean?
At this point?
Give me the Florida Marlins, 1997, any day of the week, over the Green Bay Packers of the 2010s, I think they won at 11. So, that 10-year period where they were great, where they were winning 13 games, every year. That's me. Give me the Florida Marlins of 1997 over the Pittsburgh Steelers of the last 10 years.
Wayne Huizenga is the man.
The cool thing seems to be, though, now
you're looking at me like crazy.
No, I just want to go to one as well. I'm totally with you. Okay. I just want to go to one.
He was the man.
I don't even care if we win. I just want to go.
Yeah.
I want to say, my team has been there. We're one of 4 teams that haven't been there. 3 are expansion teams. Sorry, Braylon. Go ahead.
No. You're
I'm
absolutely
good. I'm fine.
Yeah,
I say the same thing every time.
Get it off your chest.
Because you mean it.
I feel, though, if you pay attention to teams that are kind of like winning Super Bowls now, they stay pretty good. I mean, you look at the last 15 years or so, Eagles won, stayed good for the most part. Kansas City Chiefs are still here. 49ers have been, not won, but they still stay good. Who else has won, really?
New England. But again, you're talking about
the
Bucs.
These
quarterbacks.
I get
the nobody thinks the Bucs are going to win a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Even last year, I mean, God bless Baker Mayfield. But
they took the Lions to the wire.
Yeah, they
2 years ago.
But I mean, they made the playoffs last year, won a game. But
getting back to your question, though, it's a very good question because you can say yes, you can see him winning, and also you can say no. I just think there are a couple of holes, and I'm unsure right now before the draft, man. So I don't know. Even on the defensive side of the ball in the secondary, now, we know we got elite safeties. Have the elite safeties. DJ Reed was the most. Excuse me. I'm over here coughing.
Oh, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Got
right.
DJ Reed was literally the most penalized DB last year, right, Ryan? He was the number 2 DB.
I'd have to look that up.
He was.
Okay.
He was the number 2 DB, which means he wasn't even seeing the number 1 receiver.
Right.
So there are a lot of questions.
And the number 2 guy was Terry and Arnold.
Hey, speaking of DJ Reed, Brad Holmes talked about the acquisition of DJ Reed from the New York Jets. He is clearly the biggest free agent signing that this team has to replace Carlton Davis. Here he is, the Lions general manager, on DJ Reed.
We love DJ Reed. I mean, that was, you talking about a guy that literally just fit who we are like a glove. Very gritty and tenacious. He's scheme diverse. I really was impressed with his man-to-man coverage snaps. He's feisty. He'll tackle. He'll support on the edge. So he fits us.
So there you go. Brad Holmes happy with that acquisition of DJ Reed. All right, guys, plenty of Lions news. Ben Johnson talked about Jared Goff, who you'll hear from him. Also, some rules involving the Chain Gang, the Tush Push, the Lions stuff, all this happening, and plenty to get to when it comes to the NFL. All that and so much more. Hour number 2 straight ahead, but first a message from Buddy's Pizza. How about pizza tonight? Buddy's Pizza been serving the original Detroit-style pizza since 1946. 79 years later, they have 22 locations in the state of Michigan. Fans can visit where it all began on the corner of 6 Mile and Conant. Sign up for Buddy's Rewards to earn points on every purchase and receive exclusive promotions. Download the Buddy's Pizza mobile app and start earning today. Add some Detroit style to your next meal. Save 10% off your entire order using 10MEAL. That's the number 10, MEAL. Buddy'sPizza.com. Buddy'sPizza.com.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in the clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Detroit, get ready. It is here. It's Friday. It's Tigers opening day, Friday, April the 4th. It's also Anson's birthday. Come on down and see us. It's Woodward Sports, the biggest and best party in the D, the Grand Slam Festival, the outdoor party, the tent party at the Detroit Opera House, brought to you by Mad Packs and White Claw. WSN will be there all day long. Get your tickets today. GrandSlamDetroit.com. That's GrandSlamDetroit.com. Matter of fact, I'll give a pair of tickets away right now to the first chatter that paid attention to this commercial and writes in Grand Slam Detroit Festival. You're going on Friday to see us. Brought to you by Mad Packs and White Claw.
Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. Look, you got to come on down to Planet Fitness. Worked out there again this morning. It's a great atmosphere. It's a great vibe. Also, I love watching the TVs when I'm getting my morning run in on the treadmill. It's a cool gym, man. It's clean, squeaky clean. Trainers come with the membership. There's people around to help you, guide you in the right direction. They got the 30-minute workout, so you don't even need a trainer if you realize it. They got the stopwatch. They got everything for you at Planet Fitness, and there's no judgment. So come on down to Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Now, what about Super Bowl Wilson? Is that the winner?
That's the winner.
Or is
nope? Super Bowl Wilson's the winner.
Wilson, that's it. You got it.
John Lord, you already got tickets. What the hell you want? More?
He wants more.
Super Bowl Wilson is the winner.
He wants
exactly
more.
What he
Hey, Maz, while you take care of that, before I come to you for Around the NFL, let me do this real quick to give you a couple of minutes to chat with Super Bowl. See what Howie Roseman said at the winter meetings?
I did not.
Howie Roseman, and of course I don't have it up right here. Let me pull it up. But it was very here you go, Howie Roseman. He said, the Eagles do not scout players who have been violent against women. Quote, I won't even watch them. I don't even want to talk. I can't go. He did it 10 years ago and learned from it. Just doesn't work for us. This is to the Todd McShay podcast, the McShay Show. So that is the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's pretty cool.
That's their working.
Who do you think they took 10 years ago that hurt him?
I don't know. No, but he's saying, like, I don't care if it happened 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's saying, okay, there's a player, it happened 10 years ago. Nope, not even going to take a look at him. That is their working theory.
It's kind of Lions as well.
Now you got me thinking about their roster. I'm like, I know they lying.
But then I'm like, thinking, like, okay, like.
He took the kid that crashed the car, though.
That's much different that's much different than putting your hands on a woman. So that's why I didn't even want to mention him as far as that discussion goes.
Right. But it does come up.
It does come up.
Because that's why I think the Lions passed on him.
It does come up, and it is a reason why he fell to 9 or 10 or wherever he fell to. He should have been 1-1.
Yes.
Side note, he didn't crash the car.
I know.
He
left the scene.
He drove through in another accident that happened.
Someone had died in that accident, and he left. Understood.
Yeah,
Understood.
I mean, I think when you get human versus human, when you get women involved, you get to that aspect, that's where people draw the line. We saw that happen here in Detroit. Situation that happened with a DB that we used to employ, Cam Sutton.
Yep.
That's right. That's right. And I guess he's with the Steelers now, Cam Sutton.
That's where he came from.
That's where, yep. All right, Tom Asway, let's come to you. Go around the NFL. Ooh, Ben Johnson.
Big trades, big moves. Who is starting? Who's injured? What does it all add up to? It's time for Around the NFL on Ermanni and Edwards with Maz.
All right, guys, let's start you off with those owner meetings. We'll continue with it. I've got some Dan Campbell sound coming as well. But Ben Johnson was on the podium, well, on the side there, and someone asked him. It sounded like Stoney.
I think it is Stoney.
It sounded like Stoney.
That's right.
Anyway, he asked Ben Johnson about the comments he made about Jared Goff, and it was kind of in passing. This was when he first got hired to be the Bears coach, and he kind of was describing the kind of quarterback he likes and relates to, and said, "Hey, it's great to look through your progressions 1, 2, and 3." He's talking about Goff, but it's also you can do that and be able to get out of the pocket and run. That's why Caleb Williams is special. So we asked him about that, and he asked him about what's it been since he's left Detroit. Here's Ben Johnson kind of backpedaling a little.
You talked about how you were looking forward to working with a mobile quarterback. A lot of people in Detroit took it as a shot at Jared and his lack of mobility. Was that just you having fun with that, or?
It was not a shot at Jared. I've talked to Jared about it. Sometimes your comments get skewed a little bit. That was not my intent. He certainly understands that. It was more directed towards Caleb and what he brings to the table.
Is it strange at all? You were like, I wouldn't use the word God, but beloved in Detroit, and now all of a sudden you're the enemy, so to speak. A lot of people are
Here's what I'll say is I have gone back and forth. My family still lives in Detroit right now, and everybody I've seen face to face has been super supportive and very respectful, and so I certainly appreciate that, and so does my family.
Some call him Benedict Johnson. It's Ben Johnson. Yeah, he kind of backstepped a little bit. Bray, what's your take on his comments?
Like, who cares? Ben Johnson is a young coach. This is 2025, and guess what rules this era? Quarterbacks that can get out of the pocket, be mobile, provide some excitement, whether it's Lamar Jackson, whether it's Josh Allen. You know, quarterbacks like that. 2 quarterbacks getting drafted at the top of the draft this year can get out of the pocket. Cam Ward most notably. So I just think he's excited for that, and I think you were already ready to say something about Ben Johnson because we really just hate the fact that he went in the division. So the fact that he comes and makes those comments, it's like, oh, and see, and now he's making the comments. He doesn't see this guy. At the end of the day, it's 2025. This is what the quarterback looks like, and this is where it's fun. He got excited.
I feel like there was zero wrong with what Ben Johnson said about Caleb Williams and being excited to have a mobile quarterback in this league. Not even 0.5. You could have it be objectionable about that. I do also believe that Ben Johnson looked very pissed that question was asked,
he's like, why am I
and
even talking about
that
this?
became a story.
Yes.
I feel like he felt, obviously, he saw that it was a story because he reached out to Jared Goff about it, saying, hey, I'm not going to.
He also mentioned how he throws a wobbly pass at one point.
Yeah.
I know he was joking, but it's out there.
So I do find it interesting that Ben Johnson had a lot more angry tone to that answer than we've seen him in interviews past.
Because it's probably annoying when things aren't true. Well, let's operate from the space.
Not probably.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
And so that's why he's angry. Like he says his family's still living here. So you know what that means? He's getting hit up every day by somebody in his family. This is what's being said. They said you meant this. They said this happened. They said you're Benedict Arnold. They said all these things. He's over it. He's looking at it, look, I'm a young man. I did my thing with Detroit. I helped them get to a place they've never gotten to before. They already have a blueprint in place, partly because of me. Now I'm doing what everyone else does in the NFL now. I move on to the next job, which is the Chicago Bears. It just happens to be in this division. So people got to let this rock, and that's why he's mad. I'd be mad at it, like, look, I'm trying to coach the Bears. I ain't trying to talk about the Lions no more. I don't coach the Lions anymore.
Total side note, I think it would suck to be married to or be the child of a coach.
Really?
I mean,
God, yes.
like,
Either way.
That's why I never wanted to coach.
Like
You're screwed either way.
You're just moving all the time.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what coach.
Yeah, I'm talking about it like pro or college.
Look what happened
coach,
to Dan Campbell. He had to move.
Well,
because everybody knew
that's
his
just
address.
That's just stardom.
But
I'm talking
you
about
for
jobs. His kids were getting abused.
Yes, but
because he lost the game to San Francisco.
Yes,
he didn't go for it. He went for it.
I'm not even talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about you just got a job in Chicago. Your wife and kids are here. You got to finish up the school year. Your husband, you're at the facility till midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. Oh, you just got fired after a year. Let's pull the kids from school. Let's go over here.
Right.
And heaven forbid an assistant coach.
Yeah.
These assistant coaches get zero love for what happens to their families and their spouses.
Yeah. Everybody has a tough job, and by talking about this job, I don't want to dismiss anything and anybody. What you do out there, all jobs are tough. They have an element of tough. Yeah. But just the reason why I never wanted to coach, I saw when I was in college. Like I looked at those coaches in college, they had to be there. Let's start with training camp. You go through training camp, then you go through the season. You got to stay there as long as the head man or longer. Lloyd Carr wasn't leaving the building until 11:20. So now you got to stay there as long as Lloyd. Now you got to come back at 6:45 and get ready to prep for some young kids. And then you got to deal with personalities. I got to deal with an 18-year-old Braylon Edwards or a 19-year-old Chris Perry. You know what Charles Woodson was like when he was a freshman?
I can only imagine.
So now you got to deal with these personalities for a whole year. Then you got to go home and then you got to miss basketball practice, miss games. You miss this. You miss a lot with your kids. And then when the season's over, guess what, man? Now you can get ahead and hit the dusty trail because now you got to recruit. It was a never-ending season, and I would see those kids when they would come up there. They really just wanted Pops to be home. So, like,
it's a lifestyle.
I'm not in the married space with kids, so, yeah, I guess it doesn't matter to me. But that's why I didn't want to go into coaching. And NFL is a little better. It's still a lot.
Think about your buddy Mike Hart, what he's done in college.
5 schools.
In, like, 7 years.
And to not get appreciated, that's the other side of things.
They don't get – no assistant gets appreciated.
If you're not friends or your guy doesn't make the come up or you don't make the come up, look at Soup Campbell. Eric Campbell, to me, is the best coach I've ever had.
He's back at Michigan now, right?
But look how many years it took him. So,
like
he
20?
goes – Brady, what's his name? Rich Rod comes in, doesn't take Soup. Soup goes to Iowa, floats around Iowa, and he was Bowling Green. He was all over the place. But
there are
if you're
very few Fred Jacksons around.
who's still at Michigan,
Right.
left for a brief second but got brought back. So it's coaching. You really got your heart has to be in it to be a coach.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It is tough, man. But I think I would do it.
Anything else?
I think I would do it.
Money ain't
Same.
bad.
You'd only
Just
coach
the
the
money.
girls.
That's true. Whatever.
Gino Ariama.
Bring back the lemon drops, baby.
That's right.
Hey, I
that
got
was a
s-
lemon drops.
I got some Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell talked about the guy that none of us really would know if he walked into a room. And that's our second-round pick from last year, cornerback Ennis Rakestraw.
Don't even
who-
know what he looks
I don't
like.
even know what he looks like. But here's Dan Campbell kind of giving him, yeah, he's going to be good.
Yeah, well, look, I've said this before. You know, you as an NFL player, most of the time, the biggest jump you make of growth is between year 1 and year 2, and so he's going into year 2. You know, he had a couple of injuries that took him off the field, which is unfortunate because he was going to the game, man. He was helping us a little bit on teams, which is good. And so I would anticipate this guy takes another step up, man. And you know, we're not down on him. We're not disappointed. We expect him to go in there and compete, man. And look, everything. There is nothing set in stone. I mean, look, you draft guys where you do, and you sign guys according to what you believe they're going to be for you. But you also, you know, the best man's going to play. So he's very much in that mix.
Yeah, he helped us a little bit on teams and stuff. Yeah.
It is
Yeah, we expect him to take a step up, of course.
Yeah.
He didn't.
He
He can't take a step back. He didn't play.
I don't want to be too too judgmental or too, because I haven't seen him play. I got to see him get out there. I want him to get his chance, be healthy, year 2, see what OTAs looks like. I want to see what minicamp looks like. I want to see what training camp looks like. But this is Ennis Rakestraw in terms of college. Numbers don't always tell the story, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
We believe that because the 10th pick overall last year, he didn't have those type of numbers that other quarterbacks did, but he went 10th overall. At Missouri, he had 24 tackles his freshman year, 13 his second, 35 his third, 35 his fourth, and he finished 1 interception in his career. Numbers do not tell the whole thing, but as you look at the numbers, as you see what you saw last year, you start asking yourself, second round? So I got to see more. Like, I don't want the stats to tell the numbers. I don't know. I haven't paid a lot of attention. I do remember that he got recruited to Alabama and chose to go to Missouri because he wanted to make his own story.
He's a nice kid.
Great. He's a great kid. But once again, it's not about are you a great kid.
No.
Can you make this Lions team better? So our reserve judgment, that's just not – it's not what you want to see.
I'm glad Cody Engel brought it up in the chat. Dan looking like he bulked up a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean –
He did.
He did, man.
He
It
did.
was a good offseason for him.
God bless him.
He's going to be slim again when it comes
You
down.
think so?
Oh, I know
Oh,
so.
yeah.
I
All
know
right.
so.
That's
He's
the
gonna
off season.
He's going to be cut up by the time he talks again. You watch. But going back to Rakestraw,
It's great.
you look at the Eagles, who are the Super Bowl champs, and I know they picked Cooper DeJean a little earlier than Rakestraw. But if that's a guy that he could have been a Super Bowl MVP for crying out loud. It just bothered me that they move up for a JMO, but they didn't think of maybe moving up to get Cooper DeJean. And I think the proof's in the pudding already. Who's the better player? And again, we don't know Rakestraw yet, but Cooper DeJean is better than Rakestraw.
I got to give you some pushback on that. Now I don't know. I think I agree with you. I think Cooper's better, but I don't know how much better. And I can't say that they should have moved up to get Cooper because what did we say about the D-line last year for the Eagles? Jalen Carter, Brandon Graham, and the list goes on.
They're the best line
Bond
of
as a
football.
linebacker. Like, it wasn't necessarily hard and come in and make a couple plays when you have a team of monsters on the defense. So I think Cooper's a little bit better, but how much better, we got to wait and see.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm good with it. We'll continue with Dan Campbell's sound. He talked about the guy that he signed from the Arizona Cardinals. The big guy in the middle reminds me of Malcolm Rodriguez a little bit, except bulkier. It's Roy Lopez.
Lopez he's a down and dirty. Doesn't mean he can't play third down, but he lives in base a lot, man. He's taking on the double teams. He's keeping people off the backers. He can get an edge on you. And he'll just do it time out, time in, time out again, over and over. And one of the things that impressed me about him was when we played him. I mean, him going against Frank all day. We ran the heck out of the ball, but man, that guy held his own now.
He did. He held his own. When they played the Cardinals last year, I guess Roy Lopez impressed them so much that they signed him in the offseason. So the Cardinals let him go, but they wound up signing a guy that was going to retire last year from the Dolphins. And I remember all the Lion fans were like, as soon as the Dolphins were eliminated, let's sign Calais Campbell. Well, guess what? The Cardinals brought him back 1 year, almost $6 million. He's going to play his final year in Arizona. $5.5 million.
So this is what I don't understand. Okay, it's hard for a guy like me to understand that you have an incredible deficiency, or your weakness, let's say. The weakness you have is among your defensive line. And yes, when healthy, great. But Hutchinson coming off a devastating leg injury, Aleem McNeil not going to be able to start the season with a torn ACL, working back towards that. DJ Reader has not exactly been a pillar of health.
Yeah.
And Marcus Davenport can't stay healthy if your life depended on it. So this is kind of what you're dealing with here. How come you can't scrape, claw $6 million to go get Calais Campbell?
Because Calais Campbell is in year 18, and I am not trying to bring on a Calais Campbell that's 6'7" with bad knees in year 18. Last year would have been a good move because we were working on the locker room and the defensive line. You wanted to bring a vet in, so I understood it kind of like from he's a vet, watch film, help you break down, make some plays here and there, but not a lot is asked. You don't need that player anymore because your team's getting older. 5.5, I played against Calais Campbell. An amazing guy, even better person than player. He's year 18 and he's 6'7", which means he's really about 6'5.5". I wouldn't pull 5.5 on Calais Campbell because your locker room doesn't need it anymore. Last year, I thought he could.
Yeah, I mean, in week 17, in week 16 or 17, I don't know if you're thinking about needing the locker room. I think you need bodies on the field.
I'm talking about before the season started. I wanted Calais Campbell. Now, when the
before the season started,
during the season, he would have got traded. It wouldn't have been a big deal.
Yeah,
but
we
$5.5.
We were talking about how it kind of ramped up when there was talk that the Dolphins were going to let him go
once they were eliminated.
Because they wanted to do him a favor by playing with a playoff team. And then that's where the Lions got mentioned there. I don't know. I mean, you just need bodies, though. I mean,
I'm just throwing names out.
Yeah, I'm just throwing names out because I don't know. I feel like maybe Roy Lopez is the answer. Maybe he is. Roy Lopez, Calais Campbell. I don't know. Maybe Roy Lopez is better than Calais Campbell for 1 year. I don't know.
Those are big buyers on that line because you're gonna have some games, like you said, in December. In January, where you're gonna have to play against the Baltimore, so I mean you need it for that. But him only playing in base, I'm not sure I like that a lot because a lot of teams they didn't play us in base. Excuse me, we didn't have to play a lot of teams in base. I will figure it out because a lot of teams had to pass last year, is what I'm saying, because they were behind because the Lions' offense was so good. You didn't have to play base a lot, is what I'm saying.
Let me get some rule changes coming up next, and then after that, we're going to talk to Joel Schwartz. He's got some thoughts on the ticket situation. We'll do that, and we'll ask him about what President Trump and Kid Rock did the other day as well with this executive order that is going to really stomp down all the bots from buying up all the good tickets. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe not. We'll see. But we'll get Joel Schwartz's take on that and what he says about Rod Wood's stance on Lions tickets. But first, a message from Dr. Pierce.
That's right, Dr. Pierce. You know him from Michigan Sports and Spine. He's our guy that keeps us on the field, playing at our best, keeps us in the office, and doing our best as well. Trust the guy that D-Mac and Braylon trust. He will do it for you. Make sure you check him out on Woodward Sports every Tuesday on Big D Energy. He joins us every Thursday, once in a while on a Friday. Give him a try right now. MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9944. Make sure you tell him the guys from Woodward sent you.
Listen, I'm not sure who, but somebody let the Tigers get hot.
The Detroit Tigers are locked and loaded for another great summer in Detroit. And it all starts downtown at the biggest home opener party in the city. Join Woodward Sports at Grand Slam Festival as we take over the Detroit Opera House parking lot. A big-ass tent for a big-ass Detroit party. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFestival.com or follow Woodward Sports on X and IG for your chance to get in for free. Party across from Comerica Park and hear the roar as the Tigers take the field for the first time in 2025. DJs, food trucks, bartenders, live broadcasts, and more. See you for the Tigers' first home game of the season, April 4th at the Grand Slam Festival with Detroit's biggest party animals, Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in the clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
All right, we're getting ready for opening day. Tiger season is kicking off this week. Make sure you get your new Tigers merch at shop.woodwardsports.com. It's not normal Tigers merch. This is exclusive to woodwardsports.com. So make sure you get hoodies, tees, hats for all the Detroit sports teams, Red Wings, Pistons, Lions. We got them Tigers, of course. Shop.woodwardsports.com. It's a new era in wearables, and you need to join right now. Shop.woodwardsports.com. Get your new merch now.
Very good. Welcome back, Woodward Sports. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazaway. For the record,
yes, sir.
I just feel like I need to.
What do you need?
Mention that last year, Calais Campbell
6.5.
You started all kind of serious. I got nervous.
Played 17 games. Okay, first of all, that's a start. Everybody in the chat saying, "Oh, you can't play if you're injured." Calais Campbell played 17 games and had 5 sacks, forced fumble, and damn near a career high in tackles. So, I mean, he was a pretty good player. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Not to you, but to the chat. He's very injured. He's not very injured. He's not. He's actually played 17 games. How many
he's
games?
got 917.
How many games are there in a season?
17.
Oh, there are.
And
how many games did he play in 2024?
17.
How many games did he play in 2020?
17.
Yes, thank you. Last 2 years he's played.
But he's not available.
17 games. Not available.
Yeah.
Not available player. Just, okay, if you're going to disagree, chat. Just please be accurate.
I think 6 sacks would be second on our team.
Yeah.
Right.
So
5 sacks in 17
pretty good.
games. Wow.
Just wanted to.
All right.
Just saying, people. All right, Tom Mazaway, tush push. What's going on with it?
The tush push is hanging on for dear life. It made it through another year, but 16 teams have voted against it. So the NFL has tabled it, just like they tabled the Lions' proposal about a wild card team with a better record getting a playoff home game over a division winner. That's been tabled as well. But the tush push lives for another season, fellas.
And it should, to be honest with you. I am not against the tush push. Just because you do something extremely well does not mean that it should just be banned.
Right.
Because you can't stop it and you can't do
I'm
it.
banned? What do you mean I'm banned?
I agree. 100% it sucks. Look, don't fault the Eagles for drafting a quarterback that squats 700. Don't fault the Eagles for having the best offensive line collectively over the last 10 years. Having the best center for sure in the last 25 years. Don't punish them. Did you punish the Bears for having Refrigerator Perry and giving him the ball on the 1-yard line? Did we ever tell Bill Belichick, no, Mike Vrabel can't come in on offense? Because, by the way, he caught 11 passes and they all for touchdowns. We didn't stop. We didn't negate that. You want to stop it? Stop it.
You're gonna stop
You want to
it?
stop it? Stop it.
You're gonna stop a team from throwing a ball 20 yards down the field because your DBs suck.
Right.
You know, I mean, come on.
What about that 400-pound player Florida has?
Right, Maz,
the big guy. Like,
give me one. Joel's on the line. I
will.
got to take one more break. So talk to me about the chain game.
Oh, farewell to the chain gang. All these years of football, these guys will be secondary because of Sony's Hawkeye. What are they calling this thing?
Hawkeye.
The Hawkeye is now going to be telling you if you have a first down or if you have a touchdown, all of that kind of jazz.
And it should. Look.
As it should. Now, the chain gang will be secondary.
And
still going to be there.
Tennis is a perfect example of this, okay?
Thank you.
Like, if you have the technology to see whether a ball is in play in tennis or not, you have the ability to do that with football as well.
And how long they've been doing that?
Too much on the line to get it wrong. Way too much on the line to get it wrong, especially when everybody at home can see that you got it wrong as well. You got a thought on the chain gang?
I was going to say, it's funny Sony came up with the name Hawkeye because they came out with a movie in 2009 called Eagle Eye. That would have been better, but
no kidding.
Neither.
That would have scared
people.
people.
Shia LaBeouf.
You can't do that because the Philadelphia Eagles. You got to make it a name that nobody has.
Gotcha.
Eagle Eye is like you see something. Yeah, you're right. You're fair.
By the way,
Redskin
the
eye.
Buffalo Bills probably still not happy that Hawkeye wasn't in play last year in the playoffs.
Yes. Absolutely. You
They
never
would
know
have
if
beat the Chiefs.
That's right. They could have. Guys, we're going to take one more break. When we come back, Joel Schwartz, ticket broker to the Stars, Big Time Worldwide, will join us next. Lots to discuss when it comes to tickets. Lions tickets, Rod Wood spoke about tickets. And I want to get his take on what we saw in the Oval Office 2 days ago. President Trump and Kid Rock signing an executive order coming down on places like Ticketmaster with fees and everything like that. We'll talk about that coming up as well. But first, a message from Mark White.
All right, guys, dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White & Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's $5,000 in your pocket. Call them today, 248-290-8242. Try them online as well, markwhitesells.com. Again, that number, Mark White & Associates, 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Well, as you all know, baseball season is underway. We got the Final Four coming up this weekend, so scan that QR code above my head and use the code word over there, Woodward1000, to open up your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. Make your first bet. If your first bet happens to lose, you will get that first bet back as a bonus bet up to $1,000, but only if you scan that QR code above my head and use the code word Woodward1000 to get your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account, gentlemen.
All right, so here we go. Lots to get to. We're going to bring in our guy, Joel Schwartz, BigTimeWorldWide.com. You need a ticket to anything, sports, concert, anything. This is your guy right here. You want to go to the Masters? He's got a ticket for you. Whatever the case, that's Joel Schwartz. How you doing, sir? Good to see you.
What's going on, fellas? Long time no talk.
I know. We were
Mr. Busy.
Ryan, you're such a different guy on Woodward Sports. I watch you on Fox 2, and you're just so prim and proper. And then you come out here and you just go wild. You just go.
I'm a nut job in real life. I pretend to be a professional on television. But Joe, let me ask you, what in the world do you make of the comments from Rod Wood about the ticket prices and the Lions season ticket prices? And he did take a little bit of a shot at ticket brokers in Dave Burkett's article in the Free Press, saying, I don't know, I'll read you the quote here. He says, unlike prior years, I never got a single complaint this year about anybody's ticket price going up. We did get some complaints from some people we identified as really being brokers. They were buying season tickets and selling every game and making thousands of dollars. What do you make Rod Wood saying that?
He's making tens of millions of dollars, first of all. Second of all, he's delusional. If he thinks that there's nobody out there that's not happy with the ticket, that's happy with the ticket prices. I mean, seriously, the guy's living in another world. He's delusional. I mean, that's besides the fact that he's not qualified to be the president of the Detroit Lions. He got put there by a stroke of luck. He didn't earn it. And, he's scalping his own tickets. And when he says there's brokers complaining, it's not only brokers, it's regular people. I know of dozens and dozens of people that have gotten their tickets taken away because they quote unquote sold too many games. So to be truthful with you, I really don't want to waste any more of my breath on him. He's not really even worth it.
What about the Lions tickets as a whole and the idea that they have taken those tickets away from some season ticket holders, from some brokers? What do you make of it? Maz, you're a big proponent of, look, they're my tickets. Yeah. I paid for them. I can do whatever I want with them.
Yeah. Well, if you ask Ryan, if you ask people, when you buy the ticket, you think it belongs to you? The majority of people, over 2/3, will say, sure, I think it belongs to me. They don't approve the license, quote-unquote licensing thing. Here's the problem. I'll give it to you sort of straight, that it doesn't really make a difference what you or I think. It's a license. It's a revocable license. And at the end of the day, they can do whatever they want with their tickets. They can sell them for $1 million. They can sell them for 22 cents. They can give them away to anybody. They can, but what they can't do is they can't deceive the public. They can't purposely withhold supply from the marketplace to manipulate the price. They can't show you 12 tickets when they have 12,000 down there and make you believe those are the last 12. That's conspiring to fix the supply to manipulate the price. I believe that to be illegal. But
I'm with you, Joel, 100%. Ryan's tickets have gone up both years. So in 2 years, his tickets have gone up 50%. Now, they tell you there's a wait list of 20,000 people. And I don't know if I believe that.
bullshit.
Yeah,
it's bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, the 20,000
right there.
people is the 20,000 people. If you pay $100, then you get to go on the list. And by going on the list, they're going to send you emails for you to be able to buy overpriced Lions tickets before they go on sale to the public.
Right.
And overpriced concert tickets before they go on sale to the public. And then, after they do that to you, they insult you by releasing better tickets way after the fact. But you didn't already know that because you already bought them when they sent you the first email. But, you know, Ryan, I told you, this is like chewing on dead meat, man. These guys I'm done with these guys. Let's talk about Kid Rock and the president.
That's exact. You know what? I'm glad you transitioned there because, Joel, I really don't know what to make of that. I saw that. I did it on Fox 2. Please.
I'll straighten it out for you. Okay. First of all, we have been working, when I say we, the NATB and National Association of Ticket Brokers. And as you know, I'm one of the leading experts on ticket law across the country. We had a bipartisan bill done in the Senate and the House. It passed, I believe it was called the BOTS Act or Better Ticketing Act or something like that. Passed. Both houses of Congress ready to put in the bill. And in December, President-elect Trump said, no bills, no legislation, no budget, no nothing. Just a continuing resolution on us spending the money. Everything else gets put off to the side. So all the work that Congress did last year, especially on this ticketing bill, nowhere, nothing, zippo. Now, President Trump's coming along and signing an executive order. The dirty deeds have already been done. We've already negotiated this. We've already done the deal. He's just rehashing what we already put out there, okay? And so I'll explain to you what it is. It's basically, there's a law in the books that says no bots to buy tickets. He wants to enforce that. We're all for that. Excuse me. He wants the IRS to enforce people paying their taxes. People are getting 1099 on their sales on SeatGeek and StubHub and Vivid, and they're not paying any taxes, while us regular ticket brokers are paying taxes. So we're all for that. He wants, and this is where it gets a little shady, he wants it all-in pricing. We're going to get asked for all-in pricing. But see, this is a redundant fact as well because President Biden issued some sort of
no fees something or other.
He put something in with the FTC, and there's like a 5 or a 6 month wait, okay? So it's like 5 months, and now Trump's jumping in at 5 months and saying, oh, we're going to put this forward. He's just copying what Biden already did. We already did this work, okay? It was already put into place last year. Trump just wouldn't let it go through. Now he signed off on this with the executive order. So now everybody, we can get back to maybe having some sanity so that when you look at the price is the price and not something else. And, you know, in regards to that, StubHub has got an IPO. They're going public, want to go public. Do not buy that stock. I mean, it's garbage. They're ripping the brokers off left and right by not paying them, by delaying paying them, trying to make their balance sheets work. I talked to a consolidator today who said that they're blatantly just not paying them. They're stealing money to make their balance sheet look better for when they go public.
Hey,
Again,
Joel, let me jump in here because the politics of this aside, who wants to get the credit for it and all that stuff, great. Right. Okay.
We don't care.
Right.
For the consumer, what does it mean for the consumer? Does it mean like you will have access like that. What we saw with the Taylor Swift
No,
tickets,
no,
because
it
that's
means
the
nothing. It means absolutely nothing. And I'll tell you why it means nothing. Because Kid Rock touched it. Let's go to the other half of that equation. You got this moron up here, Kid Rock, standing up in his little clown suit, claiming about how all the bots are buying up all the tickets. That's false. We're going to see that that's not, in fact, the case. The case relates back to what I just said with the Lions, what's called drip pricing. And I'm sorry that I don't have the press release from the NATB in front of me. It addressed it very succinctly. I will send you a copy of that so you can read that on the air at some point in the future. A few sentences that spells it out. But basically, the bots are not buying up the tickets. And then Kid Rock says to President Trump, I think that you're going to be maybe a little upset with me when I tell you this, but I'm making too much money. I don't deserve to make all this money, but I can't help it. I really want to work for free. I really want to work and just show the people that my songs, but I don't have any control over it. So maybe we'll even put a price cap on the tickets. I'd be all for that too.
So Joel, again, let me stick with the Kid Rock here because I think you're raising a really interesting point. For the artist, whether it's Kid Rock, remember that concert he did where every ticket was $20?
Bullshit. There were 12 tickets for $20. All the good seats were $500 and $600 and $800. I said that to the Michigan legislature. I was in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee. I testified to that and told them that this is all BS. The guy's up here pulling the hood over your face. It's garbage.
Okay, so let me take that. What about the example of Taylor Swift? Where the face on these tickets is like $150, they're being sold for $3,000. But if she doesn't get a cut of it, is that?
Let's put her off to the side. That's a discussion for another day. It's a totally different model. The model that you're looking at right now is like a triangle. It's a triangle, like the artist, the consumer, and Ticketmaster. And so they all have a relationship between them. But unfortunately, the artist doesn't have any control over Ticketmaster, just like I don't have any control over Ticketmaster, just like Ticketmaster doesn't have any control over me, and you don't have any control over me. So the artists are getting shafted. The artists don't have any choice. They're not getting paid the right amount of money. They're getting billed for stuff that they're not, that they don't deserve to be. It's corrupt. The whole system is corrupt, Ryan. And that's the reason why the consumers are paying more money. If I give you some quick numbers from the other side of the coin, if you're a ticket broker and you want to say, well, I don't know the numbers, I think it's like $642 million that ticket brokers saved consumers over the last 4 years, because 42% of the tickets sell for less than quote unquote face value. We're saving consumers hundreds of millions of dollars. And how many hundreds of millions of dollars are the teams, squeezing from the fans because of their quote unquote exclusive contracts with exclusive resellers?
And hey, Joel, one of the things too about ticket brokers, if I buy a ticket from you for $100, it is $100. If you buy a ticket from StubHub or something for $100 or Ticketmaster, you're paying $170. So you are saving people money by going that route.
There's no question people save money. I wouldn't be here for 45 years if they weren't saving the money. Okay?
Right.
The Ticketmaster and the teams make us out to be the evildoers because we're really on the fan side. We want you to save money. We want to help you. I'll beat anybody's deal.
Everybody wins. Everybody wins kind of situation.
Everybody wins, yeah. Right. And you're not winning when they're scalping their own tickets. You're not winning when StubHub makes you here. How about this? StubHub's only showing you quote unquote recommended tickets unless you unclick the button. And to get to the actual price, you have to click on the filters and scroll down and click another button and scroll down and then click another button and then hope that the price you get is less than the price your friend gets, because everybody gets a different price. Try it one day.
Joel, if I'm just on the internet and I'm trying to get a ticket last minute to go see the Tigers or go see a concert at Little Caesars, if I go to StubHub, if I go to SeatGeek, Are they the same? Are they just named differently?
No, it depends upon their relationship with the primary ticket seller. So, for example, in the old days, I believe that Major League Baseball was integrated with StubHub. Now I believe they're integrated with SeatGeek and TickPick and maybe even Ticketmaster.
Yep.
So they changed their affiliations from both a primary and a secondary perspective. And so when you're buying them, here I'll give you an example, Michigan football. Michigan football primary seller is Paciolan. Secondary seller is SeatGeek. So you're going to get a better selection on SeatGeek than you would on StubHub.
Right.
But you have to know all of those ins and outs. Otherwise, you're fishing to try to find the right place. And when you go to the internet, you're fooled by, some guy that makes you want to believe that he's the official box office.
Right. Am I better off if I want to go to a Tiger game or a Little Caesars Arena to see the Pistons? Am I better off driving down there, parking, and going to the box office? Do I still have to pay the VIG?
For which event?
Do I still have to pay the VIG if I'm at the box office at Comerica Park?
Well, Comerica Park, the answer is no. But ask me that question about Ford Field.
Yeah.
The answer's ask me the question about Ford Field. I went to Ford Field, and I want to buy the seat for the Lions for only $450. But what's 5 1/4? What do you mean 5 1/4? Well, it's $75. I thought I could buy it for face that's the price.
Yeah.
What's the $75 for?
It's unbelievable, man.
If you don't like it, I'm so sorry, sir. Those seats are now gone. Somebody must have taken.
Wow.
I'm so sorry, sir. Isn't that a nice way to treat your customers?
Oh man, I'll go back to my Silverdome days when I used to go on a Monday and buy the bleacher seats for $15, and they were lower tier bleacher seats for $15 to see the Lions. And I know that was back in the '90s, but man, I can't even go to a Lions game now for a couple $100. I'm sitting upstairs in heaven.
Your day will come. You can hold your breath. It's the NFL. It's not for long.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You mark my words, all you gentlemen. Mark my words. You will one day see empty seats at the Ford Field.
Hey, Joel, we were just talking about that. I'm glad you brought that up. We were just talking about that. Just at some point, you and I talk about this in the past. You and I have. At some point, those prices will plateau and start coming down because the shine, number one, is off this. That demand is off the team. Look, there's no doubt they're still one of the best teams in the NFL, but from a fan perspective, the price point just doesn't match.
Well, San Francisco was the same price as us last year.
It's a great point.
And then they had all those injuries, and they went 500, and their tickets went 500. They went 50%.
Yep.
Okay? So that's one example. The other example is the Super Bowl. Okay, I've been to 35 straight Super Bowls. I didn't go inside, but my sources tell me that there were several rows of empty seats at the Super Bowl at the top of the 50-yard line. Now, you can't tell me that there wasn't enough demand for people to buy those seats at face value.
Yep.
But for the fact that they took all of those seats in the middle, instead of selling them for $2,500, they sold them for $7,500.
Jeez.
Once they sold a third of them, they had all their money back. Once they sold 2/3 of them, they had 3 times their money back. And once they sold 98% of them, they had probably 12 times their money back.
Jeez.
So they didn't care that they left those seats empty up at the top. And I think that's the world we're headed to. More and more empty seats, more and more pricing for return on investment, not really caring about the fan, not really care about getting you back in there and making it a good fan experience. That the days, the time of Mr. D and his hospitality, those days are over.
Hey, you know what I miss the most about going to a game, Joel? I miss going to a game without a ticket and talking to the guys on the street that we call scalpers, guys that actually had tickets in their hand. Now you don't see any of those guys anymore. And if you do, they're holding a piece of paper up, and you don't even know if it's real. So you can't even, do that.
Yes. They'll walk in if you go down there. And I found I was just down in Lexington for the tournament, and I found a guy outside. I didn't buy the tickets. He was $50. I told him I bought it online for $20. And then I was down in Atlanta for the Michigan State matchup on Friday. and there was nobody outside there. So there were 500 to get in the door for that.
Hey, Joel, I got about 60 seconds left. Pistons ticket demand. How's it going? How excited are people for a potential playoff situation?
They're getting there. Best word of advice I can give to the Pistons fans, call me soon, because we have tickets for the remaining games. We have tickets for the playoffs cheap. If you wait till the day before the game or the night of the game, I can't promise you anything. Call now and you'll get them dirt cheap.
Give us what's the number? We'll throw the number out there. Pete will put it in the chat.
248-827-7678. 248-82-SPORT.
Or go to BigTimeWorldWide.com.
Thanks, Joel. All the Woodward Sports family. I love all you guys. Okay.
Hey,
Did you say Prestige Worldwide?
BigTimeWorldWide.com. Hey, Joel, I'd love to get you into Fox 2 at some point and talk about this executive order on Ticketmaster, because honestly, I don't think anybody really understands it. So, hey,
I'll do it with you.
That's as good a perspective.
More on Woodward, because we can talk about so many more things.
I agree. I agree.
Scratch the surface on some of this stuff, but I'll get to know some of those other things. You can have a whole show on Taylor Swift. Just understanding those dynamics.
Let us know, Joel.
All right, hey, I really appreciate that perspective. That's an incredible perspective and way to break it down.
Thanks, man.
Because I said, Braylon, during the commercial break, I said I wanted to talk about this Taylor Swift, our Ticketmaster
Taylor
situation,
Swift been on your mind
and or this executive order, because I just don't know what it means. What does it mean?
And I appreciate it.
You know what, Ryan? Here's what I'm going to do for you. When we go on Fox, I'll have it for. I know you got to go.
Yeah.
I'll put it out for. I'm going to get that statement, and we'll read the statement. I can read that statement in 30 seconds and explains the whole thing.
I love it. All right, Joel. We'll see you.
See you, buddy.
Joe,
Braylon, get us out of here.
Joe, just know when you go to Fox, you can't say shit. Look, we appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you for everybody out there.
Either, bro.
Hey, well, you know what? I got my point across. Appreciate you guys for tuning into Ermanni Network's Mans. It's good to have the gang all here. Opening day is around the corner. Tune into the Pistons tonight because they do play OKC in OKC. And I think this is going to be a big game, man. For Ricky, Pete, Tom, Ryan, Braylon, we are Ermanni Network's Mans, and we will see you mañana.